Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. It's Wednesday. It's in the morning. And here I am doing No BS Hiring Advice Radio on Blog Talk Radio, simulcast on YouTube as a Google Hangout. This is a time where I like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about some element of hiring because, frankly, I believe that many of you have systems in place that make it far harder than it needs to be to hire staff. And, overall, I think part of your process is good, but I think for many of the firms and managers I speak with, the process has become far more complicated than it needs to be, and it impedes your ability to hire people that you want to. So that's where this show comes in, where my e-zine, No BS Hiring Advice e-zine, which is published every other week, and you can receive a complimentary subscription at my website, thebiggamehunter.us. So I'm going to spend about 15 minutes with you today talking about some of the reasons your job offers may be getting turned down. Now, today's show has two sponsors. The first one is Audible. And if you go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter and sign up for a free trial, you can download an audio book absolutely free at Audible. And I know you like audio because, frankly, you're listening to my podcast, right? So, try out Audible. It's a great way to listen to books while you're on the go. The second sponsor is consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm, and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you want to feature a job or feature a resume, thus it gets top position on the homepage, it costs a whopping $10 for 30 days. And if you're going to feature more than one position, they have plans that will take it down to as little as $2 for 45 days. And for you consulting firms or agencies that fill lots of consulting recs, this is a great way to promote your positions and assignments. So again, that's consultingassignments.com. Now, the trigger for this show came from 3 conversations I had last week with different firms I do work with. And they all basically translated into either, number one, my job has been open for so long, why is that? And number 2 is, when I'm making offers, they're getting turned down. Why is that? And, when such synchronicity comes together all at once, notice my headhunter hat, by the way, for those of you on YouTube, I'm in headhunter mode now. When such synchronicity comes together, I feel compelled to do a show about it because, it's like the universe is telling me this is the right topic to speak about this week. So what I thought I would do is talk with you about some of these reasons that I know of and share in a certain, shall we say, changed way, some of the stories that I heard last week. So one firm came to me, and they told me their job was open for more than 200 days. On the surface, it doesn't seem like a hard position to fill, but they had the position open for more than 200 days. So it begged the question of why. And I looked at the job description, I looked at the salary, and the salary proposed was way low for what the market was. Now, I have to say for what the market is, because right now, as I'm doing this show in October of 2014, the labor market in the U.S. has picked up pretty dramatically for white-collar talent. Now, I'm being real clear here and saying white-collar talent, because when you hear the unemployment numbers, they've just dropped dramatically to 5.9%. Most of unemployment right now is blue-collar unemployment. White-collar labor, degreed labor, people who have skills, next to no unemployment. According to the U.S. Government Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate for people with a college degree is 2.9%. Catch that number, 2.9%. General unemployment is 5.9%. Youth unemployment is just about 20. Black unemployment, I believe, was at about 10. You can look up the numbers yourself by going to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. Matter of fact, do a search for U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics September jobless report, and you'll see the data that I'm referring to. Now, if I'm off by 0.1%, I apologize, but I'm doing my best here. So when you underprice a job, you're not going to fill it. When you interview people and you have the expectation of them having the full weight of skills, and they're going to accept $20,000 or $30,000 less because that's all you can pay them, they're going to get turned down the offer. Now, in this particular case, when I pointed out the incongruity between what they were prepared to pay and what the labor market pays, they did something that I thought was very funny. They instantly made an improvement by $20,000. I'm sorry, it was $25,000 to the level that the market is currently paying. So if you're someone who's working in this job, they're basically prepared to offer you a lateral. Who's going to change jobs for a lateral, right? And there is no talent of the kind that they are looking for in their immediate geographic area. So they have to get someone to relocate, and yes, they'll pay for relocation. That's the good news. The bad news is their firm is not in a low-tax area, so you're asking someone to allow themselves to be relocated for a salary lateral to a place in the country where no one does the work that they do. And thus there's no aftermarket. There's no next job for them unless they move out again. Who's going to do that? Seriously. Who's going to do that? Now, you may sit back complacently, you in a large city, but and say to yourself, this doesn't affect me at all. What's Jeff doing talking about this kind of stuff? Well, the same thing applies to you as well, because when I'm seeing position openings in Chicago, New York, L.A., when I'm being asked to recruit for positions in those parts of the world too, the salary requirements are basically paying people the same price that they're getting right now to do the same job. Who's going to do that? Who's going to change jobs for a lateral or a marginal increase in a strong labor market? So you have to pause and ask yourself the question, what's the motivation for the job hunter? We're wonderful. We've got a great opportunity. It's a terrific opportunity to work with a wonderful bunch of people like us. Oh, come on. You're going to fire them just like their current firm would fire them if business turns south. I don't care what wonderful people you are, and neither do they. Ultimately, they're in it for them just like you're in it for you. So you have to think in terms of your competitive advantage in the job market. What does your firm have to sell that's going to entice this person to work for them? Now, you can say Facebook, Google, there's a host of different prestige organizations that could differentiate themselves in the market, but yours probably can't. So what's going to make you stand out? So most firms don't have that differentiator other than we want to hire you. And that's not enough. So think in terms of really, if your job is exactly in the market price for what a person is currently earning, what's the inducement for them to join? And you have to have an answer for that, otherwise you've got to increase the salary levels. Frankly, it's going to happen anyway very soon because prices have been static for the entire recession, and understandably, there's been a large supply of talent and very little demand, but now that's changing. The demand has grown, prices have to go up. So you have to increase price or figure out what your unique selling proposition is that's going to attract a person to your organization. Another reason why offers are getting turned down is, frankly, mistreatment by the interviewers, whether that's HR or whether that's the hiring manager. Now, the classic stories are the person who's kept waiting for 40 minutes. The classic stories include job applicants who are treated abruptly by interviewers, and that tends to be hiring managers and their staff. So you need to make sure that your hiring managers, who may have gotten lazy during this recession, where they believe that if they offer a person the job, they'd be prepared to take it, start getting back into the business of really selling their opportunity, really selling what the job is and selling the firm and why it would be a good choice for an individual to join. So you're getting a pattern here. The recession's over. Forget about the government numbers, which I think are bogus to begin with, and start thinking in terms of, we've got a market with relatively little supply and an enormous amount of demand. And if you're going to be interested in this person, it's likely other firms will be as well. So what can you do to make this person believe that they're going to be important to your organization? And that really starts off with the trust engendered by the hiring manager. You see, in most interviews, at the time that the hiring manager is done, they're done. Even if they're interested, they're kind of done, and they kind of get rid of the person. They don't spend any time really selling to them. And I always think back to this one consulting client of mine. They would spend 5 minutes at the end of every interview making every job applicant fall in love with them and want the job, even if they weren't interested. Why? Because they thought that this person would be a sales force for them in the outside world. And they were right. Now, this is the day before social media. But can you imagine now in social media times, when you do something rude to someone, people know about it. If you do something great, people know about it too. And can you imagine the posts that come out when people say, I just won this interview with so-and-so, boy, I hope they want me, and how that benefits you and having that walking sales force of unpaid people out there in the market campaigning for you. So you have to think differently right now about how you market the job applicants. You normally will have to up the compensation and spend time selling to them, because otherwise they are going to keep turning down your offers. Now notice I haven't gotten to questions about benefits, because I understand that's a more complicated question. But at the end of the day, hiring managers and HR have to create an experience that is pleasurable and desirable, while at the same time evaluating and assessing candidates. And you have to think of improving your compensation with your next budget. So this is Jeff Altman. I hope you found this podcast helpful. I hope you enjoy this video. And if you do, I want to encourage you to come over to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and go exploring. Yes, there's a lot of content there for job hunters, but I have videos, podcasts, articles I've curated from around the web that are designed to help you find work hire staff more quickly. They'll make you think a little bit and challenge some of your preconceived notions. I also want to invite you to contact me if you're trying to hire someone. My email address is jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. By the way, it'll be in the show notes that you can pick up afterwards. So contact me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. I'd love to help your firm staff positions. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request. The address is linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you're a third-party recruiter or in a country that's known for scams or spam. And I just won't do it. So this is Jeff Altman. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found this show helpful. Hope you have a great day. Take care.
You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber Policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.